So, I made a video a few days ago about C0 versus C1 versus C2 and the differences in an Abyss run, and I wanted to clear up some misconceptions in that video. Why is Arlecchino C1 clearing faster than C2? So, Arlecchino's biggest constellation is her C1 in my opinion. The power boost is massive. Here is the Abyss footage of her, and she is just hitting some insanely high numbers. Now keep in mind, my Kazuha is C2, so he's getting an extra 200 EM, and Arlecchino's getting an extra 200 EM for much higher vapes and more pyro damage bonus from Kazuha's passive. Now her C2 will give her a relatively large nuke when she absorbs Bond of Life, as well as making her rotations much simpler, because you don't have to wait the 5 seconds for the blood depths to be due. Now, the 700% damage nuke is substantial, but is only one part of her kit. If she gets off 1 to 3 normal attacks, that's essentially the same amount of damage. But still, since it's a nuke, it's important to vape that nuke in this particular team using C2. I didn't do that in my previous video, as was pointed out to me in a comment. In addition, this is the Abyss. There's RNG with the mob spawns, RNG with crits, RNG with just everything. So I couldn't replicate the run exactly because this Abyss really requires you to really move around and maneuver things, especially against the Capellia, who will just one-shot you if you don't do things properly. So here's an example of an Abyss run side by side when we compare C1 and C2, but this time I'm actively trying to vape the C2 nuke. And that's a nice 400k there, and then we can do our normal combat. Despite that large hit, at the end of the day, I'm still only clearing about 2 seconds faster. So overall, C2 is not that much of a damage improvement. Like, I am shaving off 2 to 5 seconds, but Arlecchino's main damage is coming from her high Bond of Life and her normal attacks. Even after that nuke, the next normal attack is hitting 300k per vape at the beginning of the rotation. It is still a damage increase, it's just not that substantial as the description would have you believe. C2 does, however, give a nice chunk of damage reduction. In this example, I'd 100% be dead if I did not have C2, so that's nice. It basically doubles her passive that gives her damage reduction. The main draw for C2, in my opinion, is the quality of life that it gives you. When you activate her skill, you can automatically absorb Bond of Life and be at full power, which is very fun in the overworld and for other shenanigans. Now, I was going for C3, but after witnessing her power with just C1, yeah, I'm gonna save my Primo Gems. Arlecchino's power is pretty insane, and I'm happy that she turned out to be a powerful character at C0 and with an amazing C1. I feel like C3 is just a major upgrade that I just don't need right now. You see how quickly I'm clearing the Abyss, and what other endgame content is there, am I right? And overall, C6 is just straight up overkill. I can only imagine how much extra damage that I would be doing if I were to actually end up going for C6 in the future. Eventually, I might aim for it because Arlecchino is now my new favorite character, but for now, I'm holding off. C1 though, yeah, that shit is straight fire. Still here? Great. Go ahead and like this video if you found it informative, and go ahead and subscribe so I can see your support. Until next time, Enigma out.